Yo, 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 what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host with the most renaissance man who always thinks he can, and your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back once again in the Yard of Streams for another edition of the Raw Rewind, brought to you by Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. And it's not just me, Patty P. Here in the Yard of Streams, I'm joined as always by the best of the West you can't forget about. Sarah Marshall, what's popping, girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
What's popping, girl?
Not
How we
a whole
doing?
lot.
Not a whole lot?
Not a whole lot.
It's crazy for a busy gal like yourself. Pulling the
Yeah.
old April O'Neil with the Patriots. Do you get that reference?
Yes.
What?
Spider-Man.
No!
No.
Oh.
April. Ninja Turtles. I don't know. Uh-oh.
Reporting on the Patriots free agency news. We were talking before we hopped into the yard about the moves, the
Yes.
potential moves that can be made. I know it's funny when we talk about it because you're talking to you about the AJ Brown stuff and talking to Kyle about the AJ Brown stuff. Immediately you think, oh, it's different. Like, no, it's the exact same. Like, they're not going to trade AJ. It's the same thing that I hear from you guys. So usually it's a little different. So it's nice. But you've been covering football and I've been watching wrestling. Obviously you watch your Raw, but Revolution was fucking awesome, Sarah. Like, I really enjoyed AEW Revolution.
It seems like most people did, for the most part. I don't care to see some of it, but
yeah. No, and I not only I recommend you not watching the main event because
gross.
of your type of fandom for wrestling. You're not the hardcore deathmatch gal. We'll leave that to the bad gal over in the 2K Wrestleverse. But you were not so much. I love it. I love all that shit. I grew, so I loved the main event. I actually added that to my favorite matches of 2026, Sarah, which, hold on, I have to say, MJF, Hangman Adam Page.
You just made the list!
Favorite match 2026. They added there. And then also, you know what else I added too? Out of every match on that card, it was the last match and the first match. Young Bucks and FTR.
You just made the list!
And then obviously you were most excited about Ronda Rousey. So
I really know how to take the wind out of a sail.
You know what's funny is the tribalism. I don't really know how people were reacting to it, but I do think it's funny. Like, if I start seeing any AEW fans hyping up Ronda Rousey, I'm just gonna be like, no one can ever take these people seriously anymore.
Oh, you got to come over to my side of Twitter then, because I have the Blood and Crip. You ever see that meme of the Blood and Crip holding the red and blue bandana, like united, together? It's like AEW, WWE fans on their hatred towards Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, because it's
yeah, I can't stand her. I love Marina Shafir. I hate Ronda Rousey.
Yeah,
I cannot stand her.
Well, I feel like that was bizarre that she showed up.
Ronda is a joke. Ronda is a joke.
Yeah.
Not a joke. I won't say joke.
No, she is.
It's
an absolute joke to give her another platform in professional wrestling after all of the shit she said.
Yeah, it's why, it's crazy. And John Alba was actually tweeted this, and I stand with him about this, that you have Trey Miguel getting his contract. AEW and him didn't come to agreements because of shit that happened in his past where he made some comments, homophobic comments or whatnot. And then you have Ronda Rousey, who is, full blown tinfoil hat in some instances. I don't really want to go full into it because that is not my cup of tea. We talk wrestling here, and the wrestling part of this is that I don't know how you can have someone like Ronda Rousey with the headlines and the Netflix stuff and just, the negative just stank
Yeah,
that comes along with her isn't worth it. Her best match in WWE to this day was her first match.
I know, just
Hands
crazy. It's
down.
because that's like when she gave a fuck. I feel like.
I mean, well, not only that, it was look who she's in the ring with.
Yeah.
It takes two to tango.
Mm-hmm.
And like Kurt Angle, Triple H, Stephanie too. I will give Stephanie her props. I mean, experience in the Attitude Era, whatnot.
Yeah.
She's a McMahon, so like, yeah, that really pissed me off. I don't have that feeling like you do when it comes to certain wrestling things where it's like, I hate this. I don't care what the crowd around me is feeling. I'm not feeling it.
Well, I'm sorry.
I had that with Roud. That's what I'm saying. Like, I had it for the first time. It was like,
well, I just think that
weird, but
like
nice.
I get that people watch differently. Like I get way more emotionally invested, but I also think that just because I hate the argument that just because this person is getting loudly cheered or loudly booed, then the crowd must be right and your opinion is wrong because you don't agree with them. Like, I think that's so dumb. Like, I don't care if so and so is getting cheered. This person shouldn't be here, or that was a bad match, or that was a bad promo. Like, I hate that argument that people use. Like, just because you're on the opposite side, if you're somebody who chooses the opposite side over everything, then yeah, you can question that person. But
no, that's
that's totally different though.
It's very different. What's up, Bernard, dude? How we doing over on the ringside rant with our boy Shake? Y'all gotta freaking get some 2K. This is a challenge laid out on the table for you. You know what? Oh, wrong comment. I don't know what they're doing with the fucking Kabuki Warriors.
Don't even get me started about who. Well, first of all, we'll talk about it because I think I know what they're doing. But let's not talk about Gunther doesn't have a match. Okay.
When?
Okay. At Mania.
Sir, we have like a month away.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, the Kabuki Warriors, they don't have a match yet. There's other people who still don't have a match yet. So I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Fair. No, I respect that. That I can respect. I will, after last night.
Gunther wasn't even on.
Yeah. Was there a legend to kill?
No.
No. There was no legend to unalive. So.
I was waiting for him to interfere in the IC title match. But.
See, I wasn't even waiting for that because I'm already over him and Dragon Lee.
Well,
I've been to go on to someone else.
But I just thought it'd be kind of funny if he fucked with him a little bit.
All right, at least you're having fun.
But anyway, do you want to get into Raw?
It's about to get raw.
Let's
do it.
Okay. So, at the top of Raw, we got my guy Seth Rollins. I was so excited. I'm so excited that he's back, but he still, can't compete. He's still doing the thing with the masked men, which, you know what? I understand that everybody is all pissed off about it, but I think it's different. I think it's interesting. Okay. I feel like they're trying to make it look like there was a purpose behind the masked men instead of it just kind of going away the second that they, revealed that it was Seth. And I think that's because Seth had to rush his return. So I'm like, you know what? Let him do this. But basically he was just gloating because he beat Heyman's ass. And
hilarious.
It didn't take a rocket scientist to put two and two together that Brock Lesnar was going to get involved in this. And of course he comes out and he wants to beat up Seth, but he can't beat up Seth because Seth is not medically cleared. So what happens?
Like physically can't do it.
Obafemi.
Done.
That pop, man. The pop for his music. Also, I need that chant, the new chant, to catch on. I don't want it to just be like, but like that's great. I love the like woofing in between. Like, can we do that every week now?
Here's the thing with wrestling fans. That might get a little too confusing with when we bark for Braun Baker.
Well, it's not. I guess it's not
It's a
woofing.
different woof.
It's the like, whoo. Yeah, it's like
That's a breath.
It's like
a
grunt
do you know what the
or
haka
something.
is?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that.
Well, hello. Do you remember the Usos' old entrance?
So true. Before
Yeah.
they spent time in the Uso penitentiary,
yes.
they were dancing for their pops.
So I thought this was interesting because they already had shared the dates that Brock Lesnar was going to be on Raw before WrestleMania, and you kind of didn't know what it was going to be for because his initial return, Paul is like, hey, this is when Brock is going to be here. He's going to do an open challenge at WrestleMania. So it was like, okay, then why does he need to be here every single week up until Mania? Like if he's just going to do an open challenge. But I think that there was so much speculation about his opponent being Obafemi. And they're like, okay, tickets are not selling. Like they even promoted them during the show that they were 31% off last night because they're just not selling. They're like, one way to get people to watch might be to promote a Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi match. And so they made it official for WrestleMania last night.
You had to make it official after last night.
Well, and oh my God.
Friggin' disgusting Paul Heyman look. God.
First of all, he had no makeup on. So I appreciate
he had nothing.
No. Dedication to the bit. Okay. I appreciate it.
That's my goat.
Also, shout out to Michael Cole because I love the authenticity that he's still showing because people are like, oh, it has to be, we get the best of Cole when he's with McAfee. We don't. We're still
Michael Cole with Triple H in his ear. That's what we get the best Michael Cole.
Yeah, and I think last night when we saw Oba lift up Lesnar and slam that motherfucker down like we have never seen before, and you audibly hear Michael Cole say, holy shit, when it happens, and it's like, bro, that was all of us. That was all of us.
In my 25 years of wrestling, watching wrestling, Sarah, I don't think I've ever seen one man lift and slam Brock Lesnar with such ease.
I thought we said hi to Nathaniel. Did we not say hi?
Let's pop in. How we doing, Nathaniel?
Don't leave, Nathaniel. I'm sorry. I didn't see your comments. I didn't get notified. Go ahead.
Didn't get notified. But I've never seen Brock Lesnar get manhandled like that in a ring. I've never seen a man of that size even step up to Brock Lesnar. And I'm not talking about Great Khali, Big Show. No. This is the next, like if we're Pokemon and we're Mega, what are they called when you transform? You're the Pokemon person.
Evolve?
Yeah, it's an evolved version of Brock Lesnar. Like, it really is.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. He then put his foot on his chest, which everyone's like, look, Brock told him to. I don't give a fuck. Okay.
No, that should enhance, like, give props to Brock.
I would like to believe that means he's putting him over at Mania.
I would like to think so too.
So I don't know. I thought this was cool. What a cool moment for Oba, because if we're being honest, he hasn't done a ton of stuff since he got brought to the main roster. So the fact that he got that kind of reaction and he's already like getting put over Lesnar is pretty incredible. So, we'll have to see how that goes. But I think that is, I don't know. That's pretty cool. I did see this report, Nathaniel, where they said Lesnar doesn't want to lose. From what I saw, other people were saying it's not true. So, saying that he only cares about money. So I don't know.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the only thing anyone cares about is money.
Yeah.
So,
do I think that Gunther will retire him? I would like to think that it'll be SummerSlam because I think a lot of people
in Minnesota.
And they associate SummerSlam with Lesnar. Like that was like his thing. Like at his peak in the early mid 2000s, it was always SummerSlam was like synonymous with Lesnar. So I think if it's gonna happen, it'll be SummerSlam.
He dominates it. I would
say
so
we'll have
to
to
Minnesota.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah. Just send him home. And he's not from Minnesota, but he's from North Dakota. Huh?
What do you mean? Yeah, well, that's where he lives now.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just meant he's from North Dakota. Anyway, So, the year is 2058, and we are still seeing OG El Grande Americano versus the
Don't
better
care.
version of El Grande Americano.
I hate to
Uh,
break it to you, Sarah. I don't care that we keep seeing this every week. It's awesome. I
did you
love the El Grande
did you
Americano
enjoy
shit.
seeing Chad Gable's cheeks?
I missed that. Sorry, I
Oh,
was tweeting.
his singlet ripped
Oh,
and
see,
is
that's
in
as I was
between the
tweeting.
cheeks, and you can see the jockstrap thong.
I, I
So
I was tweeting. Sorry.
yeah, no,
You
I
know,
saw those cheeks. I saw them
I'm
cheeks,
glad. I'm
y'all.
happy for you. I'm happy
Yeah.
for you. I
Um.
love this story. I love the El Grande story going on right now
Okay.
because it is this. It's you have El Grande Americano OG as the beloved fan favorite in WWE by the reaction, and then you have Kaiser, the is supposed to be the heel. The El Grande
Yes, but
Americano is supposed to be the heel because of the way they're dressed and yada yada. But then you go into AAA, and Kaiser's version is beloved. The El Grande is beloved. He's awesome. He's getting over with the fans, and then you have the OG El Grande Americano, and he's the bad guy coming in. It is cool when you have a storyline like this go across two promotions and have the fans of both promotions be on complete opposite sides.
yeah, I do think we need a mask versus mask soon because I
At
feel
some
like
point, we
I
do.
think people want to see Chad Gable back. Like, and that's the thing. Chad
I would
Gable
agree.
has to lose because you cannot take Ludwig out of that character right now.
I don't think Ludwig wants to get out of that character right now.
I
It's
I
so good.
I know, and that's the thing is like I feel like we're almost, and I'm not a Chad Gable fan, but I feel like we're almost doing him a disservice by having him continue this character when it's just like he's not El Grande Americano. That is Ludwig Kaiser. Like it that he is that guy. And they've put
He
all of
is
this money and
blessed.
effort into building this character around him. I mean, they even now have the, Pete Dunay and Tyler Bate with him. Like they have all this stuff going on in AAA. Like it makes no sense to take that away from him right now. It's very easy to take that away from Chad Gable, and people will still be excited to see Chad Gable. Um.
Well,
So I.
we can have another version of Chad Gable. It's a more serious Chad Gable that is actually determined on winning a championship and not
Mm-hmm.
being just a guy in a faction or a
Well,
leader of a group.
Well, and I think that the original reason that he became El Grande Americano, it's long gone. Like no one remembers what led up to that because it wasn't long after that he got injured. So it's like now the story has morphed into like
Yeah,
who's the
what?
real El Grande Americano, and it's like okay, we're getting to a point where we don't care, and people just want to see Chad Gable, and people are fine with this version of El Grande Americano with Ludwig. So it's like we
Do you
can.
remember what the real reason was?
Yeah, because he couldn't beat luchadors. So he
Okay,
went
all
and
right, cool,
yeah.
cool, yeah,
Yeah, so
all
that's what I
right.
mean. Like
Look
I
at us,
remember,
look at
but
us, friggin'
yeah.
oh,
But it's
being
like,
encyclopedias.
that's not like a thing anymore. Like that's like it's what, over a year ago at this point. So it's like
Yeah,
people don't remember that. Now it's become this whole other thing and people just are like they don't care. Like they just don't care. Um
no, they care about guys.
I I believe I agree with this. I think Kaiser fits it. And you know what is funny? I think what made Kaiser fit it so much better is because he could speak Spanish. I think that definitely worked in his favor.
Oh,
Um
absolutely,
and I think
was a strong
also
factor.
everyone knew that Gable was the original, but I feel like people enjoyed more knowing or figuring out that this was Ludwig Kaiser. I feel like that was like more fun and that's what made people support him because they were like what the hell like they were not expecting Gable to go down and then someone to resume the character and then if
Oh
someone was
yeah,
going to resume the character that it would for some reason be Kaiser. I think that's what like got
yeah. The
people behind
German who
him.
speaks Spanish, they wouldn't
Yeah,
think it would be the Hispanic
the
or another white dude
the German who speaks
impersonating my culture
Spanish
or
and
impersonating culture.
impersonating a white man who's impersonating a Mexican. Like, what? Insane.
That's why wrestling's beautiful.
I would say Chad Gable needs to lose. I think Gable needs to be the one that's unmasked because I think that Kaiser is too good at the character right now, and I think they would lose money with AAA if they unveiled
No,
Kaiser.
because he just won the Ray Day Race, the King of Kings tournament in AAA. He just won.
Kaiser?
Yeah, he
Oh
won.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're not gonna do shit with him.
The Oba pop was
Or
insane.
they're
You
not gonna
are
do
correct.
shit.
And I agree. This also gave Kaiser a story because he was not getting used before. Yep, the second that they split up Imperium, I mean, he's fortunate because he didn't get released. Can't say the same about my guy Giovanni, who is now back on Twitter and social media, by the way.
Is he really?
Yes, Fabian is back. He is
So
on.
what? So what's he doing?
I don't know. He's just posting workout videos. So couldn't
Hell
tell you.
yeah.
But
Getting that pump and
yeah. All
pump
right. So
the gym.
well, I mean, this was like a very 2022 episode of Raw where a lot of what was going on revolved around the bloodline. So we saw Roman show up in a BMW. The Usos welcome him back. And in that, I don't think this was like that significant of a moment, but it definitely had a lot of people talking because the Usos apparently were pretending that the Usos and Roman don't speak in between episodes of Raw. So the Usos are like, hey, yeah, we like defended our family honor last week. Like, did you see us put Punk down? And Roman's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then he like kind of calls upon his family to handle Punk and be like, we all need to be mad. We all need to demand an apology. Like, I'm calling up to the bloodline, all my relatives, my, whatever. And it's like, are we going to get another bloodline reunion or expansion? Because I really hope not. The reason, and it's okay, it's not because I'm not a fan of Roman. I just think that like when something is as beloved as like the bloodline era was, you can't keep forcing yourself into trying to replicate it because it doesn't work. It's like a lot of the time when you come out with a masterpiece movie and then you are like, let's do a part 2, and like the second movie always fucking sucks, or 99% of the time it does. It's like, it's because it doesn't work. Like, just stick with this. Think of something else. This feels like if they bring this back, it feels like a desperation move for Mania to me. That's just me.
I see. I don't feel that way at all. It doesn't feel forced to me. It just feels like they are like, it doesn't matter what they're doing. They are always going to be the bloodline, and they're always going to be by Roman's side. That is part of Roman's character.
Well, okay, so I guess my question would be, because it's not just like, oh, we're getting a bloodline reunion. There were people talking about, oh, are we going to get more debuts? Are we going to get Zilla Fatu? Are we going to get so and so and whatever? Like, are we going to be? That's the expansion part. Like, is there going to be this whole bloodline revamp? And I don't want to see it. Like, I just feel like
that's just
we're past
fantasy
it.
booking, Sarah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm not saying that to you to try to talk down. I just don't see that at all with this. I feel with Roman saying, I'm sending all the Samoans after you, it's just an emotional reaction to Punk saying, I'm going to bury you next to your father.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so mad that it doesn't matter what Samoan is either in his family or not, that he wants them after Punk because he is so mad. Like, it's just tension to build up their match. With the revamping of bloodlines and debuts and stuff. Yeah, that's probably going to happen just because of the way the wrestling world works. Zilla Fatu is probably going to debut in the next year and a half or so, not because of this storyline in particular, but because he's been on the radar of WWE for quite some time. He's the Hog World Champion. He's facing Brody King in Vegas. Like, he's facing big name guys. So obviously WWE is going to have him in his radar. That does not mean they're bringing him in specifically for the bloodline.
Yeah, I feel like that wouldn't be, I don't know, not ideal. Because look at what happened with Solo and all the other ones that they brought in. They're like stuck in the war.
But the Solo thing is actually like, that's something that's panned out well to me, is that like he's created his own bloodline 2.0 to keep the bloodline going. Like
It
the
could have
bloodline is
been
going to be a thing that's just going to be in WWE. Like that's
could have
just
been
it's
better,
going to
but
be.
I'm not gonna.
I mean, everybody thinks.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to we got a video package from Liv Morgan.
Yeah, I wonder.
Because Finn Balor was not present on Raw after his beatdown last week. And I have to tell you, I was very excited about it because that is my Finn baby Balor. Okay, that's my Fergie Ferg. He is coming back. So, you know, I wouldn't say she said anything new, but she did say, which I love, that she was plotting and scheming this whole thing about kicking Finn to the curb since the beginning, when her and Finn were talking about her joining the bloodline, for her getting between Dom and Rhea. And I was like, okay, see, this is added layers. This is more layers to the story. And people did pay attention. They noticed that she didn't mention Roxanne. What does that mean for Roxanne?
She didn't mention. Yeah, she didn't mention Roxanne, but what is that? What do you in like a good
for
way?
the future of the bloodline? We know that
Future
Roxanne is
Judgment Day.
injured, but is Roxanne going to come back and be in the blood? Or I'm sorry, Judgment Day. Sorry, is she going to come back and be in Judgment Day or no?
Yeah, oh, I have a feeling yes, I do, because Roxanne is a vital piece to Judgment Day.
Oh my God, what if Judgment Day becomes a female faction?
Hey, there you go.
I'm into that. That'd be sick. I'd love that.
It's the
Anyway,
evolution of Judgment Day.
Yeah, I know. Poor. You know what? I feel like I don't know. I almost felt for JD last week. I'm like, I'm sure he felt so weird having to like beat up Finn. Like that must have been.
He's not living in his shadow anymore.
I know, but
he's not living in that shadow. Of Finn Balor.
Jackson says Triple H is going back to what worked in the past in reference to the bloodline. Yeah, it's not going to work this time though. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work. You can't replicate something that just naturally worked and hope it happens. Like you manufacturing it doesn't usually work.
We've seen people do it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of people be successful from it, but
yeah. How would you guys feel about Finn versus Liv Morgan? I mean,
that would go hard.
That would. I don't see it happening. But
intergender matches can be bangers if done right.
Just Final Boss says, I hope this leads to Demon Finn returning. Bernard asks, what if Finn comes back with the demon gimmick? I think we're going to probably see Demon Finn Balor at WrestleMania.
Do you think?
I think at Mania.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about it. It would make sense. And I would only like it if he won, though. I know you're.
No, he has to beat Dom.
Yeah, like
he has to
win with it, because even he said it.
What if we got a different version of the demon, like a new version that we haven't seen yet?
See, that's what I want.
You know. Also, call him the demon. Don't call him the fucking Demon King. I'm sorry, I fucking hate that.
Well, yeah, he's gone.
Also,
say things the right way now.
Yeah. Also, I would hate this. Jackson, I think he tries to recruit Rhea and Damian. Hell no.
No.
Have Damian, continue to be mediocre on SmackDown. I don't need him on Raw.
What do you mean? He's teaming with R-Truth now.
Great for him. Then we see AJ Lee defend her Intercontinental Championship against Bayley, and I would say arguably AJ's best match since she's been back. And it was just cool to see this match given their history. Like if you are somebody who has been watching wrestling for quite a while, then you were probably watching the last time that these two got in the ring together. And yeah, this was a great match. People were into it. And I do like that they're highlighting the women's IC title, because I think that they haven't been very consistent with their stories around the IC title compared to like the US title on SmackDown. Like they definitely need to be giving more attention to the women's US title as well. So I like that they're continuing like treating the women's IC title as like something important. And it's like
Oh yeah.
when you have a gauntlet match take up like a half hour, 45 minutes, whatever it was of episode of Raw last 2 weeks ago or whatever, not last week. And then, you know, you give them time to actually defend it and it's actually a good match. Like
No, it is really nice.
it's good.
It's nice to see them get time, and yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah. And Becky does attack AJ at the end when she's like walking up the ramp. So I'm like, what does this mean? Are we running it back at Mania? Yeah, are we doing that? And if that's the case, why?
I mean, why? It's where it should have been done in the first place.
Well, but see, this is a thing because I'm wondering if AJ like has to leave again after Mania. You know, because she has like these prior commitments, like she's not doing like full time. Becky has to leave after Mania?
I thought Becky was doing more commitments in film now.
I have no idea, but I just assume like if AJ is because this is why, like, to me it's like, is it AJ that's leaving? Because to me it made more sense for Becky to retain this last one and then have AJ win at Mania. That made more sense. Like it felt like that was a bigger moment.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like evened the score between them, but they decided to put the title on AJ instead. So it's like, okay, so is AJ leaving after Mania? So does Becky win it back? Like I don't know, but I have no idea.
I'm just excited for a good match at Mania.
Yeah.
With this, thank God.
Final Boss says it's nice to see Becky get serious again. Yeah, I think that she has a really good gimmick, but I think that her and AJ just don't have chemistry. Like they just, you know, the character that Becky is trying to do doesn't mesh well with the way that AJ cuts promos. It just doesn't work for people. So, yeah, I think the less time that they have to talk to each other, probably the better. I think a fatal 4-way would be sick, but I don't think we're doing that. We can talk about.
I would much rather see my girl Bailey in the tag division.
I think that's what's happening. That's what I was going to bring up. After the match, you know, we see Lyra like hyping up Bailey. They run into the Kabuki Warriors, and they talk about wanting to go after the tag titles. And Bailey is like, "We do too," and she goes to talk to Adam. So I'm assuming we're getting a multi-women tag match. And I'm into it because they don't do that. You know, I know that people don't love the multi-team tag team matches at WrestleMania because they do them every year, but they don't do them with the women. No. So I want to see it. It gets more women on the card, and I think Lyra deserves it. Bailey certainly deserves it. The Kabuki Warriors deserve it. I think it would be cool for Nia and Lash to get out there. Like there are so many women's teams right now that are relevant and people want to see, and it gets them all on the card. And imagine Charlotte Flair in a tag match
at
WrestleMania.
And
the Bellas.
And make it a TLC.
Would they have that many teams? Yeah, that's 4.
That was like 8. That was 4.
5. That's 5. That's 5.
10 women.
Yeah, because it would be Lash and Nia because they're the champions right now. The Bellas because they just showed up last week. Charlotte and Alexa, Kabuki Warriors, and Bailey and Lyra. That's 5. I feel like that would be okay. It's a lot, but they do it with the men.
Yeah, you can do 5 teams. 6 is outrageous. Then you have to do a battle royal.
Yeah, I mean, I know 4 is probably like the magic number, but I don't know how you eliminate any of those teams from this match.
I mean, how many teams were... Oh, no, hold on. How many teams were in the ladder match at 40?
I want to say
like 6.
Well, that was for both titles, though. There was also one at...
one title. I mean, the women's tag titles is one for both shows, so...
Well, and they just had the one at SummerSlam, right? With like the Wyatts and Fraxium.
That was like 6 teams.
Yeah, so I think it's fine. Yeah. I don't know. I think they do win them at some point. I don't want them to, but they definitely want to. So I think they're going to. You know, I mean, you don't bring back Brie Bella if you're not going to do that, in my opinion, because she's kind of
The
Useless.
Elite Bella Twin.
Sure, whatever. Speaking of Elite, we got Dragon Lee versus Penta, and I just don't have a whole lot. I don't have a whole lot to say about this, and other than this was like utter
It ruled.
perfection. It was
It
good.
ruled. That's all I gotta say. I have no real feelings about this other than it was a great match, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was two luchadors fighting. I loved it. Like I'm not. I it's there's nothing that leads from this other than put more luchadors on the card.
What do you think about them having Penta defend every week?
I like it because it mimics the U.S. Championship Open Challenge
Yep.
over on SmackDown,
Yep.
and it's an easy way to get a guy over as the fighting champion.
Mm-hmm.
Before something sparks up with a feud. So
And it
I
allows them to have anybody challenge them, which is a good way to showcase people.
legitimately anybody. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's a face, heel, bad guy, good guy. It don't
NXT,
matter.
TNA,
I
anybody.
would like to see a TNA guy on Raw.
Yeah.
I
could.
know. I would like to see that.
What if Ray Phoenix answers? It's funny because like Penta goes out there and
Exactly.
he's like opens the challenge, right? And I'm like, oh, what if it's Ray Phoenix? And then the music starts playing, and my sister thought it was Ray, and I was like, no, it's Dragon. It's
No.
Dragon Lee. But I was like, that would have been really crazy if I called that. But
That would have been crazy. See, that's what the WWE fans need to see.
I feel like they'll
experience.
hold off on that though. Like if we're gonna ever get to a point where we're gonna get the brothers against each other, they probably wait.
Well, we are going to see them tag the Lucha Bros
Yes,
are
finally.
teaming up yet again
Mm-hmm.
for Chipra Mania,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Another thing that I am done with, I am so done with Maxine versus Natty. I'm so done. I don't care.
Did you see my tweet about this? I think I said, "Oh, we'll see you next week, Maxine," or you'll get him next week, Maxine.
So this is the thing, okay? This is not an entertaining conversation, right? Because it's like, all right, we've been there, done that. Maxine keeps losing. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like I don't care.
I
This
know.
story, it's just not working. It's not. But what is interesting is seeing Logan
Good.
and
Yes.
Theory talking to defeated Maxine in the background of a backstage moment later in the show. And this got a lot of people hyped, and not in the good way. A lot of people were like, why is this? Why are they even teasing this? Like, what is happening? But like, this would be, I don't know what they're going to do with it, but like the idea of it has me intrigued because like, what? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I would like to see Paul Heyman with Maxine Dupree. That is some utter nonsense.
That is nonsense.
I never thought would ever happen, but here we are. And what's one way to beat Natty? Get yourself a Paul Heyman in your corner.
And
oh, brilliant.
I don't know, like I like the idea of them even entertaining the possibility of adding a woman, because like we did have that short little period of Becky being in it, but it was like she was never an official member of the Vision. It was like, oh, she's married to Seth, so like she's around.
Yeah.
But it feels like, I don't know. I like, if this doesn't become anything, like I don't really care. I just think that this is interesting, and like I said, it got people talking. I mean, people were like, what the hell? But I mean, at least that's, I don't know, something that's interesting, because like Maxine is boring. Like she's gotten better. I loved supporting her moment of when she won the title from Becky. Like that was cool. That was really like, I was happy for her. But like there's not a lot of depth to her character anymore, or they're not really letting her show us any depth to it. So it's like her becoming a heel, or like teaming up with like the Vision. I don't know. That might make her a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, it would be it would be nice to split things up, maybe do things with other people. I agree.
And I mean, totally unexpected. Like I don't think anyone could have predicted that like she would join forces with Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Like
that's a WWE 2K my career
Yeah.
faction thrown together.
That's like a story that someone created and put online and was like, "Hey, you should play my story I
fan
created."
fiction.
And you get to like chapter 4 and you see this and you're like, "What the hell?" Like, what?
I even yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, then we get to um oh, an interview with Randy Orton. A freshly bald Randy Orton who just absolutely obliterated Cody Rhodes on SmackDown, and I was here for it.
Yeah,
every second of it.
Killed it. He
Um,
beat the shit out of him. Huh?
but see, this is the thing that I love is like, because we didn't get to talk about SmackDown, so I was not initially excited about this feud because I didn't think that they were going to have somebody turn as quickly as they did. I did not think that was going to happen. I was like, we're going to have all this bullshit leading up to Mania, and it's going to be like exactly what Cody said on SmackDown, like, I love you, you're my mentor, you looked out for me, you've been there for me. I was like, they're going to do all this schmoozing for 6 weeks and we're going to have to deal with it, and it's like, especially because they were trying so hard to build up the Punk and Roman thing. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is taking a backseat. We're not getting something until maybe Randy decides he's going to punt him in the middle of the match, and then Randy is a heel. So I was pleasantly surprised that they went about this, as quickly as they did. And I think it was the right move because, again, as much as people have been looking forward to seeing a Cody versus Randy feud match, whatever, I think that everybody knew that if they were ever going to see it, it couldn't be good guy versus good guy. It just can't. Like, that's not what you want to see. Like, you just don't. I'm sorry, but like, if something like a story between guys that have this much history together, I don't want to see the like huggy, kissy, like, oh, we're buddy. No, I don't want to see that. Not at WrestleMania. No. I want to see you kick each other's ass. Okay, that's what I want.
And there's been instances over at least a year and a half where Randy has been eyeing that title. So the seed's been planted for quite some time. And it's because we're smarter as wrestling fans now. The fans are going to see that and see through all the lovey-dovey, oh no, you're a great man, we're going to go out there and have a 5-star match and tear the house down.
So corny.
No, like, it's so corny. It's so old school in the worst ways. And the fans want to see what it will take for Randy to get 15. And if he has to go back to 09 Randy Orton punting heads and
balding, shaving that,
the sinister looks, like,
I will say that I am like I'm such a gatekeeper for like that era of Orton too, because like I just saw so many people being like, 09 Orton is back. I'm like, shut the fuck up, you were 2 years old.
Well,
stop pretending really like you were there. You did not experience 09 Orton the way that other people did. Okay, you were not there. But just to finish my thoughts on this, like, he did have, he didn't want to explain himself because that was the main thing that Cole wants to do because he's an investigative journalist. And Randy's like, I'm not giving you shit. I'm not telling you why I did it. I'm not doing anything. But just know there's more than one royal family. And we're like, yeah, you can't forget that Randy is a second generation superstar too. Okay. Yeah. But what I did think was interesting from SmackDown is something that I'm wondering how they're going to go about it, because as we were just saying, we wanted to see somebody be the bad guy in this feud, but I want more of an explanation from Randy about why he did it to Cody, because I would say, like, from what he was saying throughout or before this and what before the attack, was saying like this was supposed to be easy, this was supposed to be Drew, like he was planning on doing this against Drew, like he was gonna attack and try to like murder him on TV, but he still went about it with Cody. And I'm like, okay, so then I need you to have more hatred in your heart for Cody rather than just being like, you know what, I'm gonna do this no matter who I'm against. Like if it's Cody, if it's Drew, I'm gonna attack them and throw them through the stairs no matter what. I'm like, no, I want there to be a purpose that you still did it when it was Cody. I need to understand why you did it when it's Cody, because otherwise I feel like it's a cop out, you know?
Yeah, it would be a cop out if he just did that. More like you need to have him just go more intense
Yeah.
because it is Cody. Just saying how I see you rise to start, but you left me in the dust type stuff. Like, I
Well,
want to
because then
see
we have to
that
remember Randy, like you said, has been eyeing the title when Cody's had it. He's now watched Cody win the title 3 times.
before he got it again.
3
Yeah.
times. And this is a fair
Crazy.
point too. Randy didn't really get booed throughout all this.
Oh no, people were loving it.
It seems like they got a little bit mixed once he did the steel steps thing. That was when things got real quiet.
Oh no, when he came back and just yeeted.
Yeah.
That steel
You know
chair.
what? You know what I would be into?
What?
A double turn at Mania.
I think a lot of people are saying that. I mean, fucking Dave
Really?
Meltzer.
Then fuck all those people, because I said it first.
No, so Dave Meltzer is talking about how he's heard that they did this because they didn't want to go babyface at Mania, and that they expected cheers for Randy, so they just said, fuck it, we'll go all in.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I would be interested to have them try to build Randy as the bad guy all the way till Mania. I want to see Randy win at Mania. I think he has to. And I don't know. I would love for the tables to turn. I would love for Cody to just like go batshit crazy and then he becomes the bad guy. Because I feel like we're getting to a point with Cody where if they don't turn him heel soon, they never will. Because I think he's starting to get into a territory with Cena
But
where it's like
I don't want to see him heel though. Like,
I don't know.
I'm not craving. I don't want to say that. I'm not like dying to see him be heel right now.
But
I think
this
he
is
can do a little bit of both.
I think that it's going to depend on the fan reaction. And right now, like people are getting to a point where we might start hearing more boos for Cody than cheers. And I feel like you want to avoid that as much as possible because you don't want people booing your top guy, So I don't know. I think there's a way they can go about it. I'm not saying I need it or I feel like they need to do it, but we also have to remember that Cody started as a good guy, but like he really came alive and like made a name for himself as a heel. So I don't know. We'll have to see, but Jackson thinks that Cody's going to get booed out of Mania. We'll see. That's why I said maybe a double turn. Randy turns babyface, Cody turns heel. But the main thing people were talking about is who called Randy? Who was Randy on the phone with during his I don't know, his like 480 pixel camera.
I saw someone say Arn Anderson, and I almost fell off my chair.
That would
be so funny.
That's a callback that people like wouldn't understand.
They're not gonna get that reference, unfortunately.
Yeah. I saw the final boss thinks it was The Rock.
Yeah, I saw his dad. I saw Bob Orton because he said wrestling has more than one royal family.
Mm-hmm.
I have a thought of Drew.
That would be interesting.
Or Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
KO would be a fun
Sammy
out there one. Sammy would be crazy. I'm so over Sami Zayn, man.
Welcome.
He's what complete 180.
Yeah, but sorry. Look at me. I'm never wrong. I'm just early.
I'm not wrong.
I'm never wrong. I'm just early.
Put that on a t-shirt.
I know. That's the thing is like I get proven right eventually. It just takes a while sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. I did see people saying that they hope that they actually follow through with a plan for this because they've done this before and then never revisited it. So hopefully Randy didn't just get on the phone and like make this part of the interview and then it's like, oh, we're just never going to find out who he was talking to or why. I could definitely see that. But like that's why I'm like, I don't know who it was. I don't know that I care. Like if we find out, cool. If we don't, all right.
I think it would add another element.
For sure, but I'm not I guess it's more of like I'm not gonna hold my breath. You know what I mean? Like if this is something that they do, then fine. Like it would be cool if they did, but like I'm not gonna get my hopes up about it being anybody. I'm not gonna pretend that um that they're going to do it, or do it right. Like, I don't know. Sarah, how would you feel if it was The Rock who called Randy? If it was The Rock who called Randy the two bald frauds. To be fair,
God
I don't
damn.
think Randy is a bald fraud. Okay. Randy doesn't have to be bald. The Rock does. Okay. And Randy's not a fraud, but The Rock is. If The Rock actually commits, this would be a great story and make up for last year. He only has 4 weeks though. Like I don't know how.
Yeah,
I don't know,
what are you
and
saying?
I don't know how into it I am for The Rock to like pivot from John Cena to Randy, and I feel like it'd be kind of fucked if he like backed out of the thing with Cena on his retirement tour, but then came to like support Randy. Like that seems kind
Yeah.
of. I don't
No,
like
that
that.
would be fucked.
Yeah, that would be like, oh, you don't fuck with Cena, do you? You still don't, do you? That's how I would
Fake.
interpret it.
Fake.
Nathaniel did just mention him, and we can bring it back, but Danhausen is
God love that Danhausen.
he's taking over WWE. Like absolutely taking it over. He's on Raw, he's on SmackDown,
so
he's
awesome.
on NXT, he's in commercials, he's in between segments, he's selling t-shirts.
He's freaking everywhere.
He's doing everything. He did let us know that Danhausen 316 cursed our asses last night. He also had a moment with the New Day, and he said, "You are cursed. You are cursed." Yeah. So Danhausen has taken off since that botched debut. And I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far.
I am really loving how they're utilizing Danhausen. From knowing his background before WWE, know that he does have a serious injury that he is recovering from.
Oh, okay.
However, that doesn't mean you can't put a camera in front of him and tell him to go nuts, because that's
It's
what
almost
he's doing.
better that way.
It's
honestly.
so much better. It's the ability to go from Raw, SmackDown, and then we'll see it one day in NXT or whatnot.
Yeah.
But to do your thing and it doesn't feel forced. I mean, it's something where you can just plug him in, similar to an R-Truth in a way, but there's a little bit more depth because evil, and he wants to cause like chaos, but it's just like Doofenshmirtz.
He got over so quickly too.
So quick.
And impressively quickly, because if we're being honest, a lot of people who watch WWE do not watch AEW. So like even if they had seen Danhausen, they probably had no idea who he was, what he did, like what his deal was, and it took one episode of him being on Raw for people to start repeating "You are cursed." Like it took like absolutely no time. So people gravitated towards him pretty quickly, which is, I don't know, it's very fascinating to see, because there are people in WWE who have been there for 3, 5, 7 years and they can't get that kind of reaction.
No.
It's crazy.
Look at
but they understand the machine. They already started putting out they're trying to trademark a few things. Like I saw that they're going to do Girlhausen or something. Is one of them.
Kidhausen.
Yeah.
Ghoulhausen.
I already refer to myself as Sarhausen.
Sarhausen.
I did that, yeah. Yeah, because I cursed my mailman, and then my boss was like, "What are you, Danhausen?" I was like, "It's actually Sarhausen."
I just start cursing people.
Yeah, just like curse you. Yeah. Then we got Raquel Rodriguez in another match for the women's world title against Stephanie Vaquer, and of course, it did not go in her favor. But again, it was another good match. They also got Io Sky involved. She came to Stephanie's defense, which I was like, oh, this is kind of random. And I'm like, I get it, but I also like, I just don't love the idea of like Io having no clear path to Mania. Like that is what I hate. That's like I don't want her to be like the plus one of Stephanie Becker.
So we were saying, we were talking about the Kabuki Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
This was spurred a
Oh,
thought that
get
I've
them out of
seen.
that match.
Yeah, you got to get them out of the match because there's
Asuka
something
Io.
brewing with the three of them. A little bit of a triangle there.
Asuka Io would be sick.
No, Asuka Io Kairi.
Or Asuka losing because Kairi turns on her. I would prefer that honestly, and then get the 4-way women's tag title match. That's fine. Yeah. You know, that would be fine with me. I don't want another triple threat for the women's world title, if we're being honest, because they just did it.
Need to be.
They just did it last year.
No, I would much rather see, for story purposes, I would much rather see the Kabuki Warriors.
What about Kairi as the ref?
I don't hate Kairi as the ref.
I don't either.
I like that, and then that spurs the face turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like that.
And then the best part of the entire show, which of course has to be the main event because that's what we're all waiting for. Unless you're me and you turned the TV off before because you don't give a fuck. Roman Reigns. It was the first time we were hearing from Roman Reigns since CM Punk said, "You know what? I'm going to bury you next to your father." So Roman had 2 weeks to come up with a rebuttal. Just remember that, okay? And he bombed. I'm sorry, but he bombed. This was so bad. This is okay. People were comparing it to like when John Cena schooled him. I don't think it was that bad. It was not that bad, but it was still bad. Everyone was predicting what Roman was going to say. He's going to come out and he's going to mention Larry, or he's going to do this. Like I even sent a text to Pat. I was like, these are the things that I think he's going to hit on tonight if he's trying to like bring the fire. I said he's going to mention Larry if he really wants to go for the low blow. He's going to mention AJ Lee. He's going to mention Punk's failed career in UFC and AEW, and he's going to mention like having an alcoholic dad. Like he's going to go to like he's going to try and get like, you know, the most heat possible with the lowest hanging fruit. And I was only correct on one of them because honestly, I did not anticipate Roman to say, "You're a tryhard. You're mad at me because I'm more handsome than you and you're old." I did not anticipate that to be the substance of his rebuttal.
You're old. Yeah, I didn't expect that either. The try hard really threw me through a loop. Maybe because he couldn't mention anything about Larry. You know, Larry was off limits.
Well,
Sara.
But the basis of being a tryhard is that Punk shows up to Raw every week. That was him.
You know, he does his job.
Yeah, and then Roman trying to justify the reason that he doesn't show up once a week via private jet for 15 minutes is that he's a husband and father, as if everybody else in the locker room doesn't have a family, and the motherfucker he's sitting across has a pregnant wife with their first child. Are you serious, bro? Like, you're sitting there saying that your family life is more important than showing up for your job, but everybody else has to show up every single week because their families aren't as important, bro. Get the fuck out of here. So I didn't like that. But I also don't think that makes Punk a tryhard. He's a champion and he shows up every week.
Weird. It was very forced. I didn't like the tryhard comment. It was very forced. And they should have it just once you have that restriction of you can't, like he mentioned his father, his dead father, and the reports are now that we couldn't mention his dog, which
they're saying he couldn't.
Yeah, that's the report.
I find that hard to believe. And I'm not a Punk fan.
I know, and like I do too, which is why. But the only reason I think it is because we didn't hear it. Type shit.
But you know what? I think the reason we didn't hear it. What?
Could be saving it.
But you know what? Also, everybody was predicting that Roman had to come out. it was
It's predictable.
it was too predictable, and it was like you knew that even Punk was probably sitting there prepared for it, because that was like the easiest thing that Roman could come back with. And like, I don't like what he said, because like he's like, oh, you use the recycled material of who's the tribal chief. Bitch, you then fucking said something about AJ Lee. Have you not said that before? Let's roll back
That
the
line
clip of
was
you
not
saying it
bad.
to Seth Rollins and about
Yeah,
Becky Lynch.
no, that one I got. That made sense because AJ would be to some people a bigger. I get it.
But the idea, but this, what I'm saying is he set that up by saying that Punk continues to use the same material.
Oh,
Then he used the same line that he has used against other people, including Seth Rollins. So that's why it didn't hit, in my opinion, because like, you didn't say anything new either, bro. Like, I don't know. To me, this completely exposed Roman Reigns as like people finally maybe seeing that he's not as good on the mic as you think he is. He had 2 weeks to prepare. He came out with that. It was not good. This is why he had Paul Heyman with him for 5 years. This is why he was a mute in the Shield. This is why we had the moments of suffering succotash. And people trying to say that the reason why Roman didn't do well against Punk last night is because of creative. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. This is not 2017 where you can blame Vince and Vince is making him say suffering succotash. We're not going to do that in 2026 because that's not what's happening. It's not. Roman's just not a good talker. He never has been. And that's fine. No. People don't. And the thing is like, I'm not a fan of Roman, but like there are plenty of other wrestlers who were not good on the mic, and it's fine to acknowledge that they weren't because they were so good elsewhere. If you believe that Roman is one of the greatest of all time, you should be able to admit that he's not good on the mic. And he can't hang with people who are considered goats of their time, which to me proves that Roman's not a goat, because he can't hang on the mic with CM Punk. He can't hang on the mic with John Cena. Can't hang on the mic with Randy Orton. He can't hang on the mic with The Rock. Like the previous goats of their era, he can't. He's a child in a big pond. So this didn't hit. Roman is still going to show up a few times between now and Mania. I don't want to see any more of this back and forth talking. I don't want to see it. I don't. Give me video package Roman. So he's reading a script or something. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see this. I'm just saying. And you weren't a fan of it either. You weren't a big fan of it either.
What the problem? I didn't think it was that good. I thought also, it was what it was. I thought Punk was more entertaining in it. I thought Roman did what he does in it. To me, it just Roman speaks very cinematic and very Hollywood, and like faux tough guy. So
Roman.
So it comes off fake, and
it's because he's just
can't come off like that.
He's not a natural speaker. That's
exactly
the thing.
Yeah, and it's really tough to break out of that shell where you're going up against guys like CM Punk, and even when he struggled, John Cena, who give them a mic in their hands. And
well, let's look at other people who couldn't talk, but people respected them. Brock Lesnar.
True.
Brock Lesnar was never like great at promos, but he didn't have to be. And then they also paired him with Paul Heyman, so he didn't have to speak.
Yeah.
But Roman has just like kind of progressed, but not really. Because at the peak of his career, which took like 7 years to get to, Paul Heyman was speaking for him. And then most of the conversations that he did have to have were with his family. So there's a comfort level there that he doesn't have with other wrestlers because they're not his family. So like, yeah, his promos were a little bit better, but like they weren't great. I don't know. I'm not into it. I totally disagree, Jackson. I don't think Roman's. If I'm gonna give credit to Roman for any of them, I would say maybe the first one. Otherwise, Punk has dominated him, in my opinion. That's just me though. Yeah, the whole like using the first name thing, I just think it's so dumb.
That's the other thing that's pissing me off too. Like, dude, come on. You're not fucking.
I did love the Samoa Joe thing though. I did love that because people
that was the best line of all.
Nobody has mentioned that Roman's real name is Joe. No one says that.
No, no
And
one
so I
does.
love that Punk was like, I'm not even going to call you Joe because you're not the best Samoan with that name. And I was like, hell fucking yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
And they technically are related.
I mean, he is Samoan. It's in his name. So I did appreciate that because people don't do that with Roman. I like
No,
that.
they do not.
I agree. I think Seth was the best member of the Shield. I think it was Seth, Dean, Roman by a mile down because he was the muscle. He was like the Solo Sokoa of the group. Like he wasn't meant to. He was like meant to be seen, but not meant to be heard because he couldn't talk. Roman's best promo to me was the Raw after Mania last year. Fair. Roman only used the wife line against Seth. No, he didn't mention Nikki. He didn't. Did he? Or did he? Oh no, he did, didn't he? He did mention Nikki to Cena. So again, recycled material. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know what they're gonna do from here. Oh, he did. Okay, yeah. See again. So the whole recycled thing, it was just kind of silly. And it was silly to mention and then follow it up with that is the reason why. It's like it's not a bad line to use to mention the wife, whatever. It's bad when you use it as like, oh, don't use recycled material, but I'm going to use another recycled line. Like that is stupid to me. But I'm curious to see what they do between now and then because there's 4 more episodes of Raw. I don't think that we can keep doing this, but I don't know.
Either.
I don't know.
So,
but yeah, that was Raw.
That was Raw, and NXT's on right now. JC Jane just stole another win, retaining her NXT Women's Championship. I want to see Zarya and Sol Ruka at Stand and Deliver. That's what I
think we
see.
will. But you also have to remember that's what in like 2 weeks because they have it at the beginning of April now.
I know.
Which is crazy.
Which hot take. I want to see Kendall Gray. Kendall Gray.
Is she the one that just is moved from Evolve?
Yeah, she's incredible. She's stud. Absolute stud out there. All right. So I'm going to go watch that and I'm going to go eat some sandwiches. So you guys go do the same and thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Raw Rewind. Back on Thursday for the Super Show. In the meantime, hit that subscribe button and bell notification to know every time we go live and post. And follow us on all social media platforms. At Patty Pitts on all social media platforms and at SMarshXO on Twitter. And then follow us on TikTok at No Nights Off Show. Don't follow me on TikTok because we're revamping. So until I revamp, follow No Nights Off Show. And until then, thank you guys for tuning in. God bless me. You can do it. All I can do is try.